Elon Musk's last terrifying warning for Russia. In December of last year, the Russian military launched an anti-satellite missile test, which resulted in a cloud of debris in orbit. Astronauts on board the International Space Stations were told to seek shelter in their dock ship in the event of a catastrophic collision. Over these events, Elon Musk gave a terrifying warning for Russia. Welcome back to Wealth Up. In today's video, we will talk about the latest updates on Elon Musk's final and frightening warning to Russia to cease replicating SpaceX and how Russia is taking it. Elon Musk delivered a chilling warning after Russia tested a new weapon that blew up a satellite and left a cloud of debris in orbit. Moscow's actions were branded as hazardous and reckless by the US government. The Russian Defense Ministry, however, refuted the charges and accused the US of hypocrisy, citing prior debris-generating anti-satellite weapon tests undertaken by China, India, and the US. Others, on the other hand, perceived a much more serious problem than space satellites exploding. After the Verge posted Russian Vladimir Putin's statement, Putin said in a speech to school children on September 4, 2017 that whoever became the leader in artificial intelligence will govern the world. The next day, Musk responded with the words, "It starts," confirming his previous warnings. Musk also claimed that he has been warning about the hazards of AI-powered robots for years in another tweet. He even foresaw terrifying results akin to this depicted in the Terminator. Another tweet from Musk suggested that artificial intelligence might lead to a third world war. China, Russia, and all other countries will have strong computer science in the near future. Musk stated that he believes the most likely cause of World War III is country competitions for AI mastery. Meanwhile, SpaceX is working on the Starlink space program, has been accused of posing a security threat to Russia, according to Dmitry Rogozin, director of Roscosmos. For the special forces, it's all history, Rogozin remarked in an interview with Gazeta Russia. These technologies will aid in the transportation of highly skilled individuals from one continent to the next. This isn't to claim that humans will be able to fly across the oceans in seconds. The director of Russia's space agency Roscosmos, Dmitry Rogozin, has warned that Elon Musk's SpaceX Starlink space program may represent a security danger to Russia. The US government has already given SpaceX over $900 million in funding for Starlink, with subsidies in the next budget projected to total approximately $20 billion. Why does the US government require this? One could wonder. The program was discussed by Rogozin because this type of spacecraft can manage cruise missiles, recalibrate their flying task in mid-flight, control special forces, and run an agent network in addition to dispersing the internet. Much of the world now has satellite internet connectivity thanks to SpaceX's Starlink satellite broadband system. Through an expanding network of private satellites floating above the Earth, Musk's Starlink program seeks to provide internet access to practically everyone in the world. The constellations will be formed by thousands of mass-produced small satellites in low Earth orbit connecting with specialized ground transceivers. Around 1,740 Starlink satellites have been launched by SpaceX, including the Tintin A and B demo satellites. In 2021, they expect to launch up to 60 additional Falcon 9 rockets per flight, with launches occurring every 2 weeks. In 2019, SpaceX plans to launch the first 12,000 satellites into 3 orbital shells, 1,440 miles above sea levels, 1,440 miles above sea levels, and 1,440 miles above sea level. The second shell has 2,825 V-band satellites orbiting at the height of 690 miles, while the third shell has 7,500 V-band satellites orbiting at the height of 210 miles. In the future, the number of satellites could reach 42,000. Cruise missiles, for example, may fly thousands of miles but require a variety of guidance systems, including satellite course data. The Russian 3M-54 caliber cruise missile, for example, has a range of about 930 miles and uses satellite data connections among other systems. Starlink could be used to insert false navigation data into a cruise missile in flight, according to Russian officials. Furthermore, Starlink satellites could be employed as a backup for a specialized military force in the future. In the event of a confrontations, several countries, including the United States, Russia, China, and India, have anti-satellite weapons capable of destroying military satellites. To counter new Western capabilities, Russia has made major investments in anti-satellite weapons, notably MiG-31 Foxhound fighters equipped with anti-satellite missiles and S-500 mobile missile systems. If there were a significant number of Starlink satellites, these weapons might have become ineffectual. Dmitry Rogozin further warned that Starlink's internet transmissions might be solely political and most likely anti-Russian, and that it could be utilized as a conduit for Western propaganda broadcasts. The charges were made after Russian lawmakers enacted laws banning Starlink's operations in the country late in 2020, guaranteeing that internet traffic in the country is handled by Russian telecoms carriers. The U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory showed a 610 megabit per second data link to the Beechcraft C-12 Huron aircraft in flight in January 2019, demonstrating that SpaceX and the US military have already worked together. Furthermore, in late 2019, the US Air Force successfully tested a Starlink connections on an AC-130 gunship. The US Air Force used Starlink to support its advanced battlefield management systems during a live-fire exercise in 2020. A number of air and ground assets, notably the Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker, were linked to the Starlink system. Without a doubt, there is a room for partnership. The US military refocused its interest on space warfare in the late 2010s. The Space Force was founded as a new branch in December 2019. Russia has expressed its alarm via a variety of media channels since then. Almas Anti, a prominent Russia defense contractor, believes the US Air Force's unmanned X-37B rocket is a stealth space bomber capable of dropping nuclear bombs from orbit, according to sources. While the X-37 and other aircraft based on comparable technologies have been presented in the past, this time it comes from a credible source. Elon Musk's businesses, including the Space Force, are capable of conducting military operations in space. The US military is planning to spend $48 million on Rocket Freight, a program that might allow heavy cargo to be delivered around the world in under an hour, with SpaceX's Starship spacecraft unquestionably leading the pack. As a result, Russia and China are afraid that SpaceX's Starlink program in particular could be modified and utilized for military objectives. This viewpoint is supported by the rapid expansion of the Starlink program, which is funded by the US government. Another piece of information surfaces just as people are getting used to the idea of how space firms will travel into space and land on Mars to conduct research. It is apparent that space firms desire to research and explore practically all of the planets in space, not just the Moon and Mars at this time. Russia is now constructing a new nuclear spacecraft that will be capable of landing on the surface of Jupiter. The journey from Earth to Mars takes at least 5 to 7 months, and your muscles must have been pummeled by extreme weariness produced by weightlessness by the time you get on Mars. So in the nuclear space race, how long will it take to Russia's astronaut to fly from Earth to Jupiter? Another thing to ponder is if the astronauts will return to Earth alive after visiting the planet. Pioneer 10, the first spacecraft to visit Jupiter, arrived in 1973, followed a year later by Pioneer 11. The magnetosphere and mainly fluid innards of the planet were discovered by these probes, as well as the planet's first close-up images. Jupiter, the Sun's fifth planet, has been investigated by robotic spacecraft since 1973, with Pioneer 10 being the first. Since then, 8 more robotic spacecraft have been launched. With the exceptions of 2, all of these missions were NASA's flybys that acquired detailed observations and images without landing or entering orbit. Jupiter is presently the most visited planet in the solar system as a result of these missions. Juno became the second probe to enter Jupiter's orbit on July 5th, 2016. It is difficult to launch a spacecraft to Jupiter on a regular basis due to the planet's hostile radiations, environment, and large fuel requirements. Voyager 1 and 2 probes visited the planet in 1979 to examine its moons and ring system. They observed volcanic activity as well as aqueous ice on Europa. New Horizons and Cassini are both Jupiter exploration missions. Roscosmos also revealed that in 2030, its space tug, which moves people and equipment from one orbit to another, will begin on an interplanetary expedition. Zeus is a spaceship energy module that can carry hefty loads through space. In essence, it's a portable nuclear power plant. In the future, spaceships will be able to accelerate utilizing solar power and gravity thanks to the new technologies now being explored. What are your thoughts on this? With everything going on currently, will Russia even consider the words of Elon Musk? Start commenting on your answer below. Hope you liked our video. Please subscribe to our channel and remember to hit the like button, turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever we release a new video. And share the video as far as possible because the more you know, the more you grow. Goodbye.